Barricades land beneath fluorescent rain while armored vans cough sparks beside shutter towers. Crack monitors hanging from steel cables over flooded alleys. Chrome stairwells sinking from synchronized boots and hydraulic gates snapping. Shut in brutal sequence, burn receipts whirl under rotating fans near concrete checkpoints. Pressure lamps blink above chained elevators. Heavy fabric coats scrape against rusted railings as distant sirens stretch through packed transit tunnels. Shattered display panels spit fragments overloading docks. Security drones tilt through vapor clouds near stained pillars. Gloved hands drag narrow breaks through narrow passages. Red hazard strips peel from walls beside leaking pipes. Loudspeaker static cuts every conversation in half without warning tonight.
Steel shutters grind downward while powder sections.
Choke beneath rotating headlights. Black wires twitch against the pavement. Elevator alarms post beside jam turnstiles. Rows of masked figures tight in formation near cracked barriers. Rep turning sharp under overloaded transformers. Narrow corridors rattling from repeated impact. Every lock chamber trembled before another force directed breaks through reinforced glass and spills through the district like collapsing machinery.
Giant stainless space, floodlit platforms burst apart under violent command. Near a tower shaking while endless tires march through smoking junctions. Super badges flashing beneath rotating beams. Chain doors ripped outward by amplified order.
Packed streets surging like uncontrolled engines. Heavy boots hammering over fractured marble. Massive screens throwing distorted faces above. Overcrowded terminals. Pressure building until entire districts bend under mechanical authority and violent applause without hesitation. Freight cranes swing over abandoned rooftops while reinforced convoys tear through blocked avenues. Massive generators roaring behind fence compounds. Shattered tram windows scattering over drenched asphalt near overloaded substations. Black smoke climbing from ruptured vents beside crowded underpasses. Uniform silhouettes forcing barricades inward with steel rods and hydraulic arms. Surveillance poles shaking from overloaded current near damaged loading ramps. Concrete dust swirling through maintenance corridors while armored carriers crush. Discarded signs beneath spinning tires. Red strobes bouncing through underground depots packed with tangled cables and leaking coolant. Towering gates folding inward as compressed air blasts through fractured chambers beside trembling observation deck. Grinding turbines roar behind reinforced walls while packed command rooms flicker beneath unstable voltage. Cracked antenna rays bending over flooded intersections. Endless queues forced through rotating scanners beneath collapsing rafters. Rusted chains whipping against dented containers during violent tremors. Heavy respirators echoing through sealed corridors while fractured pipelines spit steam beside overloaded relay stations. Metal flooring vibrating beneath synchronized impact until entire sectors pulse like damaged engines trapped inside collapsing architecture.
Flooded boulevards ignite beneath rotating floodlights. Armored processions forcing every crowded crossing into submission. Massive display boards exploding above steel catwalks will shatter debris sprays through packed terminals. Compressed shock waves rolling beneath concrete arches. The mechanic chants rising from endless formations. Near damaged control rooms, overloaded circuits burning through reinforced conduits as towering structures lean over fractured districts. Violent momentum slowing narrow passages. Madness command pressure rotating sirens fade beside as the smoke flows, shattered over past sectors while packed riot convoys crash through burning barricade lanes and flooded transport tunnels. Fractured billboard towers swinging above mass crowds racing through cracked intersections coated in ash and leaking fuel pressure. Sirens roaring beside overturned carrier trucks and twisted checkpoint rails beneath rotating floodlight arrays. Sparks tearing from damaged utility boxes while broken helmets slide through boiling drainage pits and bent stairwell braces. Metallic debris scattering over oil-stained pavement as endless footsteps hammer fractured concrete corridors packed with smoke. Shattered glass and violent crowd force swallowing every reinforced structure under roaring industrial chaos and mechanical destruction. Burning transport sectors shake beneath roaring footsteps while fractured floodlight grids flicker beside flooded barricade pits and crackly corridors. Sparks flashing through smoke-filled checkpoint holes over twisted utility braces and damaged inspection rails. Pressure sirens hammering warp tunnel sectors while packed riot through boiling exhaust clouds and fractured industrial corridors buried under violent impact force and mechanical chaos storms. Toxic glory tears through burning checkpoint corridors while fractured convoy rails erupt beside flooded restrained sectors and shattered surveillance towers. Sparks cascading. Utility nations are raising boiling smoke haze. Pressure waves crushing warp transport lanes while damaged barricade walls split beside roaring riot convoys in endless restore chaos. Floods fractured corridors buried under violent crowd force mechanical destruction. They're buried under violent crowd force mechanical destruction. And roaring impact storms flux fractured corridor. Antenna sectors floods fractured corridor. Torn black banners with the rubs flooding maintenance trenches while packed crowds overturn reinforced transport carriers and burning scanner towers beneath rotating emergency strobes shattered riot shields skidding through cracked utility lanes beside bent containment rails and fracture loading braces coated in ash and coolant residue. Pressure sirens vibrating through smoke-filled tunnel sectors while sparks burst from damage relay houses and boiling exhaust ducts. Metallic impacts hammer narrow checking corridors as endless footsteps crush broken concrete into flooded drainage pits. Burning debris storms tearing through fractured industrial halls buried beneath violent crowd force and roaring mechanical destruction swallowing every reinforced burying passageway beneath shattered floodlight towers. Burning barricades sectors collapse through smoke-filled transport corridors while pressure sirens hammer warp utility braces and flooded maintenance pits. Sparks flashing from damaged convoy rails over cracked inspection ladders and twisted containment walls while endless riot force crushes industry doors buried beneath narrow passageway and reinforced streets crushing industrial sectors. Flooding the violent crowd force mechanical destruction. Damn ran into violent crowd force mechanical destruction. Forked and them crossstones but stretch a cobble roll. In top force sectors what that you go to.
Concrete terminals hum any mirror transit bridges while polished generator walls cast silver reflections through flooded utility corridors and fractured inspection lanes. Rotating floodlight array sweeping over black conveyor belts beside cracked intake trenches and bent containment braces coated in metallic residue and ash. Hydraulic carrier lifts gliding through sealed transport sectors while pressure gauges pulse beside damaged converter housings and reinforced cable ladders till exhaust drifting through narrow maintenance halls packed with turbine echoes and vibrating steel partitions. Metallic footsteps striking polished flooring beneath towering relay chambers and suspended ventilation grids. Endless industrial precision locking reinforced structures into control mechanical order under relentless electrical pressure and engineered operational force. Reinforced generator corridors pulse beneath rotate emergency